All right, welcome to another week of math digital learning style. This week we are still going to be working with those units of conversion, but now we could be doing metric, we could be doing customary, but we're going to look at it within real world word problems. Say that 5 times fast. All right, so every video this week is going to be me going through some word problems with you, and you'll have an opportunity to go through some problems on your own. So let's get started. All right, the first thing I want to make sure is that you have in front of you your conversion chart of choice. It could be one of these that I've provided you. It could be one that you've made yourself. It could be one you found online and printed out. I don't really care what the conversion chart is as long as you have a conversion chart. I would also suggest that you have close by your King Henry, either your stairs or the flat across if you like that one better. And if you enjoy using Land of Gallon, I would make sure that I have my Land of Gallon picture near me. You also need to make sure that you have paper and a pencil because you're going to be doing these problems with me, just like you would in class. Make sure that as I'm doing it, you're doing it, because when I write it, I hope you said it and didn't make me sit here and point at nothing. Yeah, you write it, okay? All right, let's get started. So the first problem says the baby chicken weighs 36 ounces. How many pounds does the baby chicken weigh? All right, so we've really taken a problem that we're very used to seeing and we've just put it into word form. So you can see that we're talking about 36 ounces and we want to turn it into pounds. That's it. That's the whole problem. So the first thing I want you to do is write your conversion equation. 36 ounces equals how many pounds? Once we write our conversion equation, we can see this is exactly what we've been doing last week. So we know the steps. Step 1, what chant am I going to say? If I'm going from ounces to pounds, I know that ounces are smaller, so I'm going small to big. Divide that pig. Now, I have provided you with the conversion chart right over here, and I'm only giving you what you need. But when you do the problems on your own, you're not going to have it. So that's why you need to make sure you have your conversion chart near you. So we're going to find where it talks about ounces and pounds. And I see that is right here. I know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I'm going to do 36 divided by 16. All right. So 16 can go into 36. I know it can go in at least 2 times because 16 times 2, 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And I know it can't go in any more than that because 32 is only 4 away from 36. So I'm going to put a 2 here. 32, subtract, and that equals 6 minus 2 is 4. So how do we write this then? 2 with a remainder of 4. Well, we know that there are 2 pounds and 4, this remaining 4. Well, what did we start with? We started with ounces. So it's 4 ounces. So I need to go over here and I need to erase where my pounds are here. And I need to write 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Now you could try to solve this out. You could put your decimal and your zeros and work your way through that. You could also put this as 4 over 16, which would simplify down to 1/4. So you could also say 2 and 1/4 pounds if you would like to write it that way. I would suggest these as being the 2 ways that you would write your answer, either pounds and ounces or in a mixed number form. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. If a recipe calls for 3 cups of chocolate chips, how many ounces would that be? Again, this is a single step problem. We have 3 cups and we're trying to figure out how many ounces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my conversion equation. 3 cups equals how many ounces? And when we see ounces in cups, we know that this is actually fluid ounces, even though they're not saying it in the problem. We know that's what it is. All right, step 1 says, am I going big to small or small to big? I know that cups are bigger than fluid ounces, so I'm going big to small, multiply them all. So I'm going to take 3 and multiply it. Well, what am I going to multiply it by? Two ways we can figure that out. We can go over here and we can look where we find cups and ounces, fluid ounces, and we see that right here. 1 cup equals 8 ounces, so we would multiply it by 8. We could also sing our song, in the land of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. Each and every queen had just 2 things, a prince and a princess to call their own. Each prince and princess had 2 children of their own. Each of the children were 8 years old, and that's the land of Gallon, and so I've been told. So we know that children are 8 years old, cups have 8 fluid ounces. So either way you want to look at it, we're going to be doing 3 times 8. We know that 3 times 8 is 24. So how many ounces would that be? It would be 24 fluid ounces. Not too bad. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The perimeter of the class rug is 144 feet. What is the perimeter in yards? Again, a single step problem. We're taking 144 feet and we're turning it into yards. So we're going to write our conversion equation. 144 feet equals how many yards? Step 1 says, are we going big to small or small to big? Feet and yards, I know that feet are smaller than yards. So we're going small to big, divide that pig. So we're going to take 144 and we're going to divide it. Well, what are we going to divide it by? We're going to go over here to our conversion chart to figure that out. If we're talking about feet and yards, where do I see feet and yards? I see it right here on this middle one. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So we're going to divide by 3 to figure out how many yards are inside here. No powers of 10 for us with this one. We have to actually do our long division problem. 3 can go into 1 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract, and that equals 1. 1 is less than 3, so we can say, bring it on down and bring it on back. Divide. 3 can go into 14. 4 times, multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract. 14 minus 12 is 2. 2 is less than 3, so we say bring it on down and bring it on back. Divide. 3 can go into 24. 8 times, multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract. 24 minus 24 is 0. 0 says we have no remainder. There's nothing left to bring down, so 144 feet equals 48 yards. And there you have it. Again, a one-step problem. All right, so we can see here, based on what I'm providing you, that we're now moving into the metric system. During the science experiment, the students added 50 milliliters of water to the cup. How many liters of water were added to the cup? This is a one-step problem again. We're going from 50 milliliters to liters. So we're going to write our conversion equation. 50 milliliters equals how many liters? We're going from milliliters to liters, so we're going small to big. Divide that pig. So we're going to take 50 and we're going to divide it. We're going from milliliters to liters, which is our base unit. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 hops, 3 zeros. It equals 1,000. We're going to divide by 1,000. But we're not going to write a crazy long problem. Instead, we're going to remember that 1,000 is a power of 10. So we'll say, is that a power of 10 I see? Then all you got to do is listen to me. There's only one rule. That's not a lot. All you got to do is move that dot. Stop. Where's the dot? That's right at the end. Multiply to the right, to the right, to the right. Divide to the left, to the left, to the left. We're going to divide it 3, or we're going to move the decimal 3 times. A 1, 2, 3. If you see a blank space, put a 0 in. So 50 milliliters is the same thing as 5 hundredths or 50 thousandths. Either way works because remember, this 0 doesn't matter. Not too bad. Are you seeing how you're going to have to be able to flip back and forth between metric and customary? As long as we have those conversion charts, we should be good. Claudia and her mom drive 12 kilometers to school each morning. How many meters do they drive each morning? Again, a single step problem. 12 kilometers to meters. So we're going to write our conversion equation. 12 kilometers equals how many meters? We're going from kilometers to meters, so we're going from big to small, multiply them all. What are we going to multiply by? Kilometers to meters, that's 1, 2, 3. 3 hops is 3 zeros, that's 1,000. Oops, we're going to multiply by 1,000. Hopefully you know that 12 times 1,000 equals 12,000. But if not, you can always say, is that a power of 10IC? Then all you got to do is listen to me. There's only one rule, that's not a lot. All you got to do is move that dot. Stop. Where's the dot? That's right at the end. Multiply to the right, to the right, to the right, divide to the left, to the left, to the left. We're going to take 3 hops, 1, 2, 3. If you see a blank space, put a 0 in. Whichever way you do it, you would get 12,000 as your answer. All right, I think this is our last one, I believe. The doctor ordered his patient to take 300 milligrams of aspirin each day. How many grams of aspirin is this? Again, a single step problem. We're going to take 300 milligrams and we're going to turn it into grams. So let's write our conversion equation. 300 milligrams equals how many grams? First thing we need to do is figure out, are we going big to small or small to big? Milli to grams, that's small to big. Divide that pig. We're going to take 300 and we're going to divide it. What are we going to divide by? Let's count our hops. 1, 2, 3. 3 hops is 3 zeros. We're going to divide it by 1,000. So we know that 1,000 is a power of 10. So we say, is that a power of 10IC? Then all you got to do is listen to me. There's only one rule. That's not a lot. All you got to do is move that dot. Stop. Where's the dot? At the end. Multiply to the right, to the right, to the right. Divide to the left, to the left, to the left. Because we're dividing by 1,000, we're going to take 3 hops. 1, 2, 3, no blank spaces. So we know that 300 milligrams is the same thing as 3/10 of a gram. Or you could have put 300 thousandths of a gram. But those zeros don't matter, so we could just say 3/10. Oh, we have one more, just kidding. All right, a dog ate 8 ounces off of a 32-ounce steak. How many pounds of steak were left once the dog finished eating? Ooh, a multi-step problem. Let's see what we know. We know that a dog ate 8 ounces off of a 32-ounce steak. We want to know how many pounds were left. Okay? Well, if he eats 8 ounces off of a 32-ounce steak, we can do that first. We know that's 32 ounces minus 8 ounces. And we can do this problem because our labels are the same. 32 minus 8. Well, let's regroup. That 3 becomes a 2, and this 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. So we have 24 ounces left. But it doesn't want us to say it in ounces. It wants us to say it in pounds. So now we write our conversion equation. 24 ounces equals how many pounds? And we do what we've been doing this whole video. Ounces to pounds, small to big, divide that pig. We're going to take 24 and we're going to divide it by how many ounces are in a pound. And we know that there are 16 ounces in a pound. So we're going to divide by 16. I know that 16 can go into 24 one time. Subtract and that gets me 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 left over. So again, we could write this in one of two ways. We could say we have 1 pound and 8 ounces, or we could take that remainder 8 and we could put it over 16, making it a fraction, 1 and 8/16. Now we know that 8/16 is equivalent to 1/2. So you could also say 1.5 pounds. Either way, we get the same answer because 8 ounces is half of 16 ounces. Oh my goodness, that's all the time we have in our video. We're coming up on that 15-minute mark. So now it's your turn. I want to see what you guys can do. Bye.